Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like.
What is up, Titans Nation? Welcome in to the 615. It's your host, Lee Hillis. And yes, welcome in to the SeatGeek Studios. Quick shout out to our partners over at SeatGeek. You can use our code 615podcast. That is 615 PODCAST at checkout for $20 off your first order of $50 or more on SeatGeek.com and on the SeatGeek app. So we have some business ahead. Oilers, Texans. But before we dive into that, let's kind of bring in our counterpart, Jay Murph.
How are you,
What's
Lee?
up, dude?
How are you, man?
It's going to be a long weekend.
Well, that's because the only thing you have planned is the Titans game. We're going to embarrass ourselves one way or the other. We're wearing the Oilers. We're either going to go in and lose the second overall pick. Shout out, oil up, no Diddy. Or
No.
Or we're going to go in and we're going to lose in our Oiler Blues and
have the possible number one overall.
Yeah, I just don't know how we win in this situation. It just doesn't. It feels like a lose-lose. We're in the Oilers, but hey.
So the big question I have is, will the Titans drown the Texans in oil before the playoffs start? Presented by our partners at SeatGeek and Expedia. You can find our link to Expedia in the description below. So H-Town comes to Music City.
Are they wearing the H-Town uniforms?
I don't think they are. I think they're probably going with their white.
They should totally do H-Town uniforms versus Oiler uniforms. That should be like a bowl game every year.
Do like the black H-Town helmet.
Yeah, so it would be like a bowl game every year. It'd be the H-Town Bowl or the Oiler Bowl, depending on where it takes place, you know?
Yeah. But we're going to take a quick run through the Titans stats from this past weekend as we lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mason Rudolph, 19 of 31, 193. One touchdown, one interception. Tajay Spears, who left the game with concussion, he will not be playing. 20 carries, 95 yards. Mason Rudolph, 5 carries for 23. Cherry Compo, 1 for 17. Julius Chestnut, 3 for 17. And Calvin Ridley, 1 for 9. We got some news earlier in the week, and we'll talk more about this later on in the show. Looks like the Titans are rolling both QBs out there.
Who's starting? Who you start?
If I am Brian Callahan, I go Mason.
You know, I really just don't care.
And trot Levis off the bench.
Why? What's the point? Like, what is it? Why? First off, why are we doing this?
Well, when I saw this tweet on Monday, someone asked, do you agree or disagree with playing both quarterbacks? I'm like, why not? The Titans have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. You're already not in the playoffs. Why not go spoil another team's chances to have a better seed?
Do you think, I just don't, I guess for me, I don't understand the logic. Like, if Levis sucked so bad that you benched him, and that was supposed to be your dude that you were brought in to hone and turn into this great next thing, I just don't get it. I don't know. I just can't wrap my mind around it. Maybe I'm just slow or dense. I don't know.
But the poll that I brought up, 3 weeks ago, about asking, is this the last of what we've seen of Will Levis? All those who voted no, you are correct.
Well, I voted yes. I thought I just don't understand like why at this point you bring Will back.
And the receiving game wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. Calvin Ridley 5 for 42. Chigakonkwo 5 for Calvin Ridley 5 for 84. Chig 5 for 42. NWI 3 for 31. Tyler Boyd 2 for 14. Nick Burnett 1 for 8. Tajay Spears 3 for 8. And of course, quick shout out to number 15, Nick Westbrook-Akine, on winning the Pro Football Writers Association in Nashville's Eddie George Good Guy Award.
Ah. Can you tell us about that? I don't know much about that award.
Neither do I.
Okay. Well, congratulations, NWI.
The reason they gave it to him is because, yeah, the Titans have had a garbage year, but the dude was still willing to talk to the media.
Oh, yes, I know about that award. It goes to the person who's best with the media and talk. Yeah, I know that award.
2 fumbles, both of them recovered. Mason Rudolph and Tajay Spears both had a fumble. Calvin Ridley and J.C. Latham recovered those fumbles.
So, fun fact about the Latham fumbles: he has 3, and he leads the league as a lineman for fumbles recovered, for whatever that's worth.
Look at you, J.C. Latham.
He also has of all the rookie tackles, the most allowed hits, pressures, and sacks combined. Fun fact.
But defense wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. 65 total tackles, 40 of them solo. You had 2 sacks, 1 from Jerome Baker, who has been silent pretty much all year, and James Lynch.
Dude just keeps showing up, doesn't he? Like he's just quietly on the stat sheet. Every week I look at his name.
Who, Lynch or Baker?
Lynch. Like he's always there. He's always got a stat line. Like it's always that 1-1-1, but he's got a stat line every week.
Special teams, kick returns, Julius Chestnut, 3 for 67, averaging 22.3 with a long of 24. On punt return, Mason Kinsey, 1 for 9. Newly waived Titans kicker, Matthew Wright, 2 for 2, long of 39, and he was 1 for 1 on extra point. And Pro Bowl alternate punter, Ryan Stonehouse, 3 for 149, averaging 49.7 yards a punt, 1 touchback, 1 punt inside the 20, and a long of 61. So we have to give roses where roses are due. We had 4 guys who were listed as Pro Bowl alternates: Ryan Stonehouse, Jeffrey Simmons, Tony Pollard, and Amani Hooker.
Are you going to explain the sunglasses, or are you just he's going to wear them the rest of the for the people listening at home? He just slipped on some Titan sunglasses all covertly and didn't say anything about it.
Just as I did. But over to the H-Town side of it, the Houston Texans side of it. These are the stats from the Christmas Day game against Baltimore. That they got skunked terribly, 31-2.
Damian Pierce won the Angry Runs Award, though, I feel like. But
I think he did.
Carries for 13 yards. He must have had a really angry run.
CJ Stroud, 17 of 31, 185, and an interception. They benched him, brought in Davis Mills, 1 for 1 for 5. But the stat that really stands out to me, the sack numbers on CJ Stroud, 5 sacks for a loss of 37.
Had a very Will Levis game, didn't he?
Exactly. Joe Mixon, 9 of 26. Damian Pierce, 5 for 13. I'm guessing he's their fullback, probably 2 for 12. CJ Stroud, 1 for 7.
You said Dara Wale. I can't say his name. He's like their third string running back.
Who could also double as their fullback.
Does he?
Nico Collins, 3 for 59. John Mechie, 5 for 48. Robert Woods, 2 for 21. Dalton Schultz, 2 for 21. Xavier Hutchinson, 2 for 21. Joe Mixon, 2 for 13. There's that name again, 1 for 6. And Cade Stover, 1 for 1. Not a single receiving touchdown in this game, because all they had was the safety. John Mechie had 1 fumble.
Who'd they tackle to get that safety?
That had to have been CJ Stroud.
No, they had the safety, so they would have been the defense that got the tackle.
No, they only had the 2, so it came from Baltimore's sack.
No, a safety is when you get tackled in the end zone and then you give up 2 points. So the Ravens would have had to have been sacked or tackled in the backfield.
That means it was probably Lamar.
Or Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Derrick Henry is what I was hinting at. I'm like 90% sure that it was Derrick Henry who got tackled.
Defensively, they had a Titans-esque type day. 1 sack. Will Anderson had a half a sack. And then I guess it's one of their defensive tackles. Looks like number 72 had the other half sack. So defensively, they didn't really stop that run attack by Baltimore or the air attack. They had no kick, no punts, or no punt returns, and no field goals kicked. Damian Pierce, 1 for 45. That's probably where the angry run came from.
Yeah, probably.
And then Tommy Townsend, their punter, who had a heyday, 6 for 289, averaged 48.2 yards per punt,
That's
1 touchback,
good.
3 punts out of the 20, and a long of 69.
Wow.
So, what this is telling me is the Titans could possibly have a chance in this game if Houston plays the way they did against Baltimore.
I would be very upset if that were the case. I'm not one to root against my team, but I'm rooting against my team last week and this week. I want the higher draft pick. I really do not want to see Will Levis get hot and go nuts. But that's pretty much the opportunity Callahan's giving him. He's saying, hey, you can either go in and win this game and save your job and potentially give yourself another chance next year, or I'm going to put you in this game, you're going to Will Levis it up, and then I'm going to draft your replacement. That's pretty much what he's telling him.
So John Glennon put this tweet out on New Year's Eve. Titans team stats going into, or this is post week 17, so going into week 18. Titans offense ranks 28th overall. They rank 28th in passing offense, and they rank 15th in passing defense or passing or run offense. And they are tied for 25th in offensive points scored with 18.6. But then you get to the defensive side of this. Titans have this number 2 overall defense What kind of sense does that make?
I mean, how can you be 30th in the most important stat and be second in overall defense? It just doesn't make sense to me.
And then you're second in pass against the pass, which the Titans are most definitely improved in the pass defense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You
Because
mean over
last year,
yeah,
last year's Titans pass defense was about as bad as the passing offense,
yeah, pretty
if
much.
not worse. But you're 22nd against the run. You were a top 5 team or top 10 team last year against the run, but this year you're 22nd.
We can't give up 304. What did you say? 345 yards, 35 yards,
335 yards to Indy.
Yeah, you can't give that up, like, ever. And you just talk way too. This defense talks way too much. Talks way too much. Just go out there and play.
But as we said, the Titans are playing both quarterbacks on Sunday in the season finale versus Houston. And Brian Callahan said, and I quote, "I'll let you know by the end of the week who's the starter." But I think both guys should play some football at the end of the year.
It's going to be Mason unless Mason goes off, and if Mason doesn't go off, then they're going to let Levis try to save his career, or they plan on going down 35-0. I don't know, whichever one.
Pick 5 pick sixes in a row.
Well, D'Amico Ryans has also made the comment that he doesn't know how long he's going to keep the starters in on the H-Town side of things. So I don't know. I don't know how this game is going to go.
But so I did say I want to go into this.
Yeah,
this is probably where we're going to spend most of the time right here, because we are going in. We're already preparing for the off season.
Oh yeah.
Updated 2025 first round draft order for the top 18 picks and pick implications before week 18. So right now the Patriots are picking first, Tennessee 2, Cleveland 3, Giants 4, Jags 5, Panthers 6, Jets 7, Vegas 8, Chicago 9, New Orleans 10, San Francisco 11, Indianapolis 12, Dallas 13, Arizona 14, Miami 15, Cincinnati 16, Atlanta 17, Seattle 18. So how much movement, in your opinion, Josh, do you expect to see in this draft order? Do you expect to see? Do you expect to see quite a bit of movement, or little to none?
I expect to see Cincinnati make the playoffs. I think Cincinnati's going to make the playoffs. I think Chicago's not going to win another game, which I've been saying since about week 9 now, and I've been right.
And they play Green Bay.
Yeah, they might as well just stay at home. If it's not a home game, they just might as well stay at home. The Jets are probably going to win because that feels very Aaron Rodgers-like. I could see a lot of movement in this. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if any of the top 3 are not there tomorrow or on Monday.
On Monday.
Yeah, on Monday.
So,
because who's New England playing? New England's playing the Bills. That goes to the Bills, right? They're playing their backups, and then
I'm about 90% sure the Bills are playing their backups. Yes.
Yeah, they're locked into the number 2 seed. It would be pretty stupid for them not to.
So the way I picked the AFC this week, I have Chargers over the Raiders, Chiefs over Denver, Houston over Tennessee. But there's a lot of implications going into this. A Patriots loss and a Titans loss. So if Tennessee loses to Houston and New England loses to Buffalo, your top 12 picks align like this. New England 1, Tennessee 2, Cleveland 3, Giants 4, Jags 5, Panthers 6, Jets 7. What?
The way that I look at this when I read it is more so who are the quarterbacks or who are the teams that need quarterbacks, because they're probably going to try to get ahead of us because they think we need a quarterback.
Well, I would be okay. And you and Tyler talked about this today. After you sent a screenshot from an article.
Yes, you're right. Oh, you're talking about Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams.
And you could say, hey, I want to get that veteran wide receiver. But the way I look at it, you already have that in Calvin.
He said his legs are 25. Let's take the man's word for it. He's 26 years old.
I do not trust Devontae as far as I can throw him.
Well, here's the deal with that, my friend. Who's he replacing on our roster? Don't worry, I'll wait.
I don't see him replacing anybody.
You don't see him replacing Traylon Burks with his 400 yards in 4 years? You don't see him doing better than that at 32 years old, coming off of how many? No, come on now.
The way that, and Tyler and I brought this point up, the Jets need a quarterback. Am I lying?
They definitely could use one. I don't know that they could ever draft one. They've tried and failed many times.
Sam Darnold.
Zach Wilson.
So I could see
Mark
the Jets. I could see the Jets calling us and like making a trade. If I'm Rand Carthon, I am fleecing everything I can.
Well, you don't want to get fleeced. I mean, how's he going to fleece him if the dude doesn't want to be fleeced? So what are you getting in this fleece, my friend?
I'm definitely trading from 2 to 7 if I'm Tennessee, if the Jets call. So you're getting this year's first and a third, but you're also taking one of their young playmakers in Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. I'm sorry. Say that again.
I'm trading basically first round pick for first round pick. So 2 to 7.
And then taking Garrett Wilson.
And a third.
I would hang up on you.
Because
they're getting rid of Devontae Adams and they're going to trade away to – no, I would hang up on you. That phone call would end so fast.
So the only other team I would answer a call from is probably the Raiders. 8.
Yeah. And what would you try to steal from them?
So for 8, go from 8 to 2. I would want your first this year, first next year.
Okay.
And a third this year.
I don't think that's unreasonable. I would entertain that phone call as GM of the Raiders, but if you ask for Garrett Wilson, you might as well just stay away from me, bro. I'm not taking that.
Stay away.
Yeah, just go find somebody else.
But you could also go with this like this: a Patriots win, a Titans loss. If the Patriots win, they drop from 1 to 4, and the Titans go to 1 from 2. Do you still entertain that thought?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to look up these Devontae Adams stats and I can't find them, but he far and away outperformed Traylon Burks. What? Ask me that again. I'm going off from that.
So if you're the Raider, if the Titans go from 2 to 1, Patriots from 1 to 4, and you were to call the Raiders at 7.
Then we have what pick in this scenario from 1 right here? Raiders.
This is 7. A Patriots win, Titans loss.
It's more about who do you want to get? Do you think that so who do you want to get if the 2 quarterbacks you want are gone? Because they will be at 7. You're talking about a McMillan at that point or a Ginty at that point.
I would be okay with either McMillan or Ginty. Because I think McMillan goes right here about 5 or 6 to either Jacksonville or Carolina.
I think Ginty got a little exposed the other night. That doesn't scare you off, that bowl game?
No, because you look at the defense he was playing. He was playing Abdul Carter.
That's true. You're not wrong. And I'd rather have Abdul Carter at 1 than trade back to 7, if I'm being honest. Then
Well, you saw what happened last time a defensive player was drafted at 1. A
Myles Garrett.
high-profile defensive or edge rusher was drafted at 1 in Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh, no. Garrett went 1 since then.
Myles Garrett, I think, went in 2012.
Myles Garrett?
He's been in the league a minute.
Not longer than Jadeveon Clowney.
Let's look
Jadeveon
this up.
Clowney played against Luan, I think. I think that was that era. All right, so I'm looking at Myles Garrett. He's 29 years old.
2017.
Yeah, then Jadeveon Clowney, which went to the number 1 overall to the Texans in 2012, if I recall. No, it would have been about 2015 or so. Where's his stuff at? I don't know, but I don't think for even a second. I mean, he's 2 years older. He was 2014, round 1, pick 1 for Houston.
He's 31.
He's 31. And Garrett was 2017, round 1, pick 1.
Pick 1. Outside of Myles Garrett, what edge rusher has ever really truly performed going number 1 overall?
Oh, no, you're absolutely right when you're using that Jadeveon Clowney reference. I don't think Abdul Carter should go 1. I told you on Monday. There's a quarterback draft, which is your premium picks at the top of that board. And then
Like
everyone else.
Shador Sanders and
even if they're not the best players in the draft.
And Morocco, I wish I had that clip. He was saying they may not be the best player on the board. They may not be the flashiest player on the board. But you want to make an impact right now. Even if you have to sit them for a year.
If you're going by flashiness, you'd draft Genty first overall.
Oh, exactly.
And that doesn't translate all the time at the next level. I want the 88.6 QBR. I'd rather have that. But you look at it like this. If the Patriots win and the Titans win, there's no way Abdul Carter makes it to 6 on this board.
Cleveland would draft 1. Giants 2, Patriots 3, Jags 4.
Who do you think?
Panthers 5, Titans 6.
You think Cleveland takes a quarterback?
Not with them just restructuring the deal with Watson.
I agree. Doesn't mean you don't take one though. I mean, look what the Falcons just did down in Atlanta.
Yeah, but you see how that's played out.
That's a hefty load. I think it was 180 guaranteed, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. So I mean, and they're about to cut him before his $10 million roster bonus in March. It's a cruel world. NFL.
I would grab him. I would grab him as a bridge quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. Give me Kirk Cousins. He didn't forget how to play football.
Or Aaron.
They didn't forget how to play football. They just had a bad year. I don't think both of them are statues. I'm not sure how well they do here.
Titans win or a Patriots loss. Patriots lose, Titans win. Patriots stay at 1. Titans drop from 2 to 6. I think New England does not go quarterback. I think you could see someone like the Raiders jump to 1. Trip to 1.
The Patriots I don't think the Patriots would want to fall back to 7. Because then you miss out on the 2 premier defensive players in this draft, which are Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter.
You could go Patriots-Giants flip because Giants are now at 3.
I'd take Pierce Jr. at 6. They've ever right here.
Oh, out of Tennessee, the edge rusher out of Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd take Pierce Jr. at 6 right there. Or fall back a little bit if you feel like you can and still get him. But I would take Pierce. Because I don't think Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter make it out of the top 5 in that scenario.
I don't think they make it out the top 3.
That's possible too.
I think Cleveland goes Abdul Carter at 2 in that scenario.
So we're talking about the edge rusher out of Penn State, by the way, for those who don't know who Abdul Carter is.
And then Travis Hunter at 3.
the cornerback / wide receiver Heisman Trophy winner out of Colorado State, who claims Deion Sanders is like a father figure to him. So, or whatever that's worth.
That's comical.
Hey, I mean, he went with him. So, cool thing about Travis Hunter was actually given his first college offer from HBCU, which is a historically black college or university, from TSU.
Wasn't Eddie George?
It was not Eddie George. No,
it was Rod Reed.
Right. But it's still cool. I mean, it's still a cool little thing about our state out here. I know you're not a Tennessean, but us Tennesseans appreciate things.
I am a Tennessean. I was born and raised there.
Loser. You're still being raised.
But 3 easy keys to victory: lose, lose, lose.
Heck yeah! Tighten up, oil up, no Diddy.
Oil up, no Diddy. So, easy thing is, who wins?
The one who loses. Because if Houston loses this game, they set us back 5 years. If we lose this game, helps us out.
We set ourselves up.
We set ourselves up. Potentially, we put ourselves in a position. You know, we very well could be picking top 3 next year. Who knows?
I would be willing to gamble on that. But we had the final quarterfinal game today.
You are the agent of chaos who loves to do their championship game on week 18.
I'm talking about college.
Oh.
Notre Dame and Georgia.
Okay.
Notre Dame beat Georgia 23-10.
That's nuts. Never would have thought that.
So your semifinals are Texas and Ohio State.
Ooh.
Penn State and Notre Dame.
Okay, full disclosure. I hope Penn State wins the Natty so Allers comes out and we can draft him.
So Tyler and I, we were talking last night, I think. I made my picks then. Give me Ohio State versus Penn State.
Oh, okay.
And my winner?
Penn State.
Give me James Franklin and the Nittany Lions.
That'd be wild. Good. It would be good for. I actually wouldn't mind that. So I really kind of grew up more of a Vanderbilt fan. So I saw James Franklin when they rode their wave through Nashville. Would have had to have been 2012, 2013 now. I'd be happy for him. He's a nice guy. Met him a few times.
Yeah. I've never met him, so I wouldn't know.
He's a nice guy. I told him, I was like, hey, what? I met him at a hotel in Nashville, and I shook his hand and I said, man, we miss you out here. He goes, miss you guys too, and just kept it moving. But cordial.
He just kept moving. Kept moving.
Well, they were in town for the SEC. They had like a media day at Opryland or something.
So glasses are coming off because that was a little too dark for me.
You're about to fall asleep on us, huh?
Your guess is as good as mine. But if anybody knows anything about me, you know what kind of year it's been. Too bad TK's not here.
Right.
Because the is what kind of year it's been.
Yeah.
1 year ago last night, we got a call that we did not expect. That my dad had passed. And Tyler, Josh, and I, we were all spitballing. And both of them thought, okay, it would be a great idea to do something in the first show of this year. But I want to read something before I roll this video. And it was actually inside of the little funeral pamphlet from his funeral. And it's titled When I'm Gone. When I come to the end of my journey and I travel my last weary mile, just forget, if you can, that I ever frowned. And only remember the smile. Forget unkind words I have spoken. Remember some good I have done. Forget that I ever had heartache. And remember I've had loads of fun. Forget that I've stumbled and blundered and sometimes fell by the way. Remember I have fought some hard battles and won ere the close of day. Then forget to grieve for my going. I would not have you sad for a day. But in the summer, just gather some flowers, and in the shade of evening, when the sun pastes the sky in the west, stand for a few moments beside me, and remember only the best. And by the way, that was actually him singing.
It's beautiful, Lee. I love that. Sorry, man.
But Josh, is there anything we want to add?
Now, brother, wrap it up. Send us home.
To this show. Well,
No.
Titans fans, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Stay classy and tighten up.
Oil up, no Diddy.
Tighten up! Let's get tightened up! Tightened up!